Hello and welcome to the Nordic KeyForge podcast. This is Jason, the Captain Kirk, and I am joined here today by Hydrophilic Attack. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing quite okay. I'm having some days off, so
That's nice.
so I'm actually not sleep deprived for once, but that's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got an abnormal amount of energy for a Tuesday night.
Yeah. How
Are
are you
you
doing?
staying hydrated?
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
I have my big old mug of tea here.
Excellent, excellent. How much snow do you have in Stockholm?
Today we received a lot
Yeah.
coming today. Yeah,
It is just snow everywhere now. Last few
yeah,
days
yeah.
in Sweden. So if you like snow, Sweden's the place to be. If you like a functioning ecosystem, then Sweden is not the place to be. I guess it's okay.
I don't know. I
I
haven't
think
tried.
things
I'm
have.
I'm glad I'm off this day. I
Yeah,
imagine it would have been a problem getting to work otherwise.
yeah.
Uh,
I'm not sure what's Stockholm like when it snows.
It depends. If it's maybe a bit more than today, then it can completely uh, basically stop everything.
It does. It's very much like any type of snow in London. Schools close.
No, schools don't
Everything closed.
close,
No,
and
schools don't close. Okay, fair enough.
and you're expected to go to work as well. But
Yeah.
how? But you don't really have a way of doing it. uh,
Yeah. When it snows in the UK, schools will close because
yeah,
they can't put up with cold weather. The heating breaks down. At least that's what it was like when I was at school. Um, people don't have winter tires, so it's not safe enough to go to school. So few flakes of snow day. Except there's no snow, so there's nothing to do. Excellent. Yeah. So this is the start of, I guess, the Nordic general life podcast.
yeah.
Yeah. What game are we talking about again?
Uh, Snowball fights? No,
Snowball
that's
fights. Yeah. Snowforge.
yeah.
No, let's talk about some KeyForge, which is yeah, it's not as easy to talk about so much KeyForge. There is KeyForge happening,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird to say so soon after the the World Championships that got played as well. But for me, I'm struggling to have so much energy or finding time to play at the moment. So I'm not the I don't have the most energy for trying to be enthusiastic about the game. At the same time, we have the nkfl going on. We have a lot of people playing KeyForge. There's a lot of cool stuff going on at KeyForge. So I will do my best. But that is just because I have some personal stuff going on. We have had the worst Christmas ever at home.
What
I love
happened?
my family, but when they are sick and when I am sick, just things are just not fun. So
Mm.
Markhook, coughs,
Mo- what's that
colds.
in English? Moghook. That's
Markhook. It's kind of a stomach bug,
yeah.
but a stomach bug does not cut what we know as Markhook. Like Markhook, when you're a parent of young kids, it is like it's a pandemic again. Like one kid is sick, it is quarantine. Like you shut them in their room, little plate of food under the door. They eat there, wash your hands, stuff like that. So like COVID-19, because we have had that going through our house as well in the last month, like
Oh,
was no concern compared to the 3 bouts of Margwood that we've had during the month of December. So, like, it is the whole thing where, and especially the Margwood you get in Sweden, and I'm not sure if it's the same in other countries, you get, after 2 days of being okay, you can get sick again
so you've
from
had
the
both
same.
COVID
Yep.
and magsjuka
Yep.
in
Yeah.
December. Oh wow, that's
Yep. I mean, COVID was like. I mean, we've all had our jabs. We barely noticed it. It wasn't even a cold. We then
okay.
had a bigger cold afterwards, which can't have been COVID because we'd already had COVID. So we had a pretty nasty cold, and we're still coughing and trying to get over that. Um, but yeah, so this going through this Mark week because we've had this time where one kid will get sick, then the other kid will get sick 3 days after because
Hmm.
it's taken a while to get to them. We've tried to keep them apart, and then by the time he starts getting better, the first kid gets sick again because
Okay.
there's only because you're only okay. Um, you only have antibodies for it for a few days, and then you
Hmm.
can get the same bug again,
So
and it
you
just
need
goes
some
round and
solitary
round and round. So
confinement or something to.
really, yeah. So we kind of kept ourselves completely free from each other. And I know we're still not talking about KeyForge, and I don't care because it was kind of a bittersweet Christmas for me because I could have had time to get some cards out and play. However, I on my birthday was Boxing Day and a dog on the 26th, and so for Christmas Day when we had to travel home from my in-laws house because Henry had thrown up the night before. He throws up in the car on the way home, so I'm thinking, okay, crap, that's me. That's that. He did very well to get it in the bucket and everything like that. Get home and I was like, well, I have to quarantine him. I have to stay quarantined in case I get sick because I don't want to get the rest of my family sick. I'm sleeping in a separate room. So I'm here in my kind of study office kind of thing. And I think, what else am I going to do? Sat here on my own. So I get out like board games and I play solo board games by myself on the table in front of me. And it was actually really nice.
Yeah. Okay. So not
I'm
too
not going
bad
to
then.
admit this to my family, but it was actually really, really nice. So it was Robinson Crusoe was the game I played. It was like it got a load of awards like 12, 10 years ago or something like that.
What game?
Really, Robinson Crusoe and the Cursed
Robinson
Island.
Crusoe. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, really, really fun co-op game. And so I played that over my table. I know I could have got out some KeyForge adventures and stuff like that, but I was like, okay, this game quite complicated. I'm actually going to learn how to play it. So I did that. Got a few rounds while keeping an eye on my kids. So that was our Christmas.
You
Yeah,
made the most of it anyway. So
we kind of did, and I did not get around to playing any KeyForge at all. We had the break. I played one game. I lost in the cup to the Woke Cup, which was just really really bad play from me. But what are you going to do? So that was my Christmas. How was your Christmas?
my Christmas was good. Just the normal potluck with the family.
Yeah,
Uh, and no, I have not had to deal with any sickness or anything like that, so that's good. I've just had some time off, just relaxed, played a little bit of Keyforge on the Crucible,
mm,
played a little bit of video games, and just uh,
nice.
yeah. But for in terms of like, I haven't been on for a few episodes, so I
Yeah,
think I haven't been on since the
pre worlds, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah,
probably since the season started. Uh,
yeah.
so I've had
Yeah, so let's slide into our Fortnite slash how has the season gone for us,
yeah.
which is the next segment. Yeah, how's the season gone for you then? How was the last 8 weeks? I guess.
Yeah, it's gone quite well. I'm quite far down now in bronze beta, and I feel like my deck strength level is a bit higher than everyone else, especially after I replaced like my two weakest decks for this season. And I have currently my record is 13-2. It says 12-3 in the document because one was incorrectly reported, but
Mm,
uh, 13-2. Uh, and yeah, uh, and even the first game I lost, I think if I had made a smarter deck safe decision, I could have gone 3-0. And in the the second game I lost, it was a super big. I talked to my opponent after that game, and we both agreed like there was a key turn, and I made like the worst possible play. I had like 4 plays that would have won me the game, and yeah. Uh, but then the next game, I stole a game I shouldn't have won. So yeah. But anyway, yeah. So
Right,
I
it evens
theoretically,
out.
if I had played like perfectly all the time, I would have been 15-0 by now. So, but I.
Me too. Me too. I'm gonna say yeah.
But yeah, I've been doing quite well. I've had some frustrations with this season with finding time to play, not like agreeing on a time to play. Uh,
Mm.
and I think many people have had this season. Like my first weak opponents went to Worlds, and then we delayed it because of that. And then we had another date, and he forgot about it and let me know a few hours later, and then we rescheduled again, and then finally got it played. And then he dropped out a few weeks later, and I'm
Oh
like, come on.
no.
So yeah, and now I
Yeah.
haven't heard from my next opponent either. So yeah, uh, I'm a bit frustrated with that. Like some of
Yeah.
my opponents have been really good at communication and setting up dates and being flexible and helpful, and for some it's been, yeah, it's been like pulling teeth. So and
Mm.
that's a shame. It has really kind of dampened my enthusiasm for the league this season quite a bit. Um,
Yeah, I think that's the what's the best way? The other side of the coin where we have a popular league where with 100 and what was it? No, 200 members, over 200 members, 220 members or something that we are now, which is great. This record breaking and everything. But yeah, the mix of time zones and trying to find that time is not easy.
but you know that's the thing that really bumps me out, because the people I've had the most problems scheduling with this season, they are in the same time zone.
Oh wow, okay, then that's
And
noticeable.
they they are just forgetting about
Yeah,
their times, not answering messages.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so yeah, mm, that have some of the people in different time zones, we have had some trouble finding a time, but at least had good communication.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And I feel like the just a huge shout out to the South Americans as well, because whenever I'm up against South Americans, they are like really good at communicating and very flexible, especially at least at the weekends. Like they will play any time during the weekends to fit our schedule. So kudos to them. Um, Not so much kudos to us European snobs who can't even get a game going in our own time zone.
so anyway, sorry about all the complaining. How has your fortnight been?
My fortnight, well, my season is actually taken a happy turn.
Oh, nice.
I've had 2 wins in the last 2 games, and I have my last 2 games of the season. I feel quite confident about. Which now I've said that they're not going to go so well. So I kind of just as a recap, I won 2-1 versus TV Shop the first week, which were 3 very close games, and all 3 of those games could have gone either way. Um, I played against Dave C and lost 3-0, and I'm not surprised about that at all. However, there
Yeah, he's a great
were
player.
great player, and I think from what I remember, and I remember there was I got laughed at quite heavily in a previous episode because I did not remember any game whatsoever when I was trying to talk about it.
Okay.
I'm getting some flashbacks now though, where the first game he won and it was a walkover. The second game he won and it was a walkover. However, I still managed to get 2 keys. The
Mm.
third game, I probably could have got something from it. I remember that much about it. But I just remember when you're 2-0 down and you get absolutely rolled over, you don't want to remember those games.
Hmm.
Like, it's just, I don't know if it's luck, or I don't know if it felt like luck, or it's just when your decks just aren't cutting it, um, then you know that, okay, why am I even here? It's that kind of feeling, kind of bad feels to it. But the third game, I actually managed to get quite a good matchup. Then I also lost 3-0 versus Gordo Tronico, who like his record now is 13 for 5 with one game remaining, and he has won. How many of these has he won? He's won. Yeah, he's won most games 2-1. He's won 2 games 3-0. Um, he lost to Dave C actually 2-1, but he has got some absolutely insane decks, which, if I remember rightly, they are all the same decks. Let me just go and have a look on it. This is the most interesting episode. I'll probably try and cut some of this stuff out,
All
kind
the
of
same
going through
sets
this.
or
I mean,
very similar
normal,
decks?
just like normal, we are super organized here. On the Nordic KeyForge podcast. No, this wasn't the one I thought about. It was. I, this wasn't the lineup I was thinking about. I thought that was the lineup where they were like every single deck had the same houses, had the same 3 houses, and it was the same type of deck, and that was difficult to go up against. But Gordon Tronico, he's got some absolute beast of a decks, and he's also a good player because, I mean, these decks are averaging around between like 75, 76 SAS as well. So he's a very good player, and he's just running rampant in the league.
So he's a bit of
Um,
at the SAS deficit with that, or
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, looking at the other decks in our league, like when we look, for example, Paps Peer, his ranges from 82 to up to 91,
Hmm.
um, and he's down near the bottom with me at the moment in the league, and I have to play him this week. And my SAS average actually is actually quite far over Gordotronico's SAS
Hmm.
average.
Hmm.
Um, so again, SAS isn't everything, but yeah. But at the same time, I'm quite happy with my lineup because what I'm realizing, even if I don't win the games, I I'm getting the matchups I'm expecting. If
Okay.
that makes sense. Like, I feel like when the matchups come up, I'm just like, yeah, that's what I expected him to pick, and that's what I wanted him to pick with the matchups. And so I feel like I'm kind of getting into a bit of a rhythm with mine. Another side note of that is Halifest is broken. Um,
Do you have it, or have your opponents
I
had
do
it?
have a Halifest deck,
Hmm.
which like when you get Halifest out, and I've got a Halifest deck with double Brick Nasty as well. So especially when I have both Brick Nasties out, that's the one where Bloodline Creature fights, you get one. And the nice thing there is they don't even have to survive. It's not like a after fight. It's when another Bloodline Creature fights, gain one, they could die, and that's fine.
Hmm.
Um, I came back from 2-0 down in the last round to win 3-2, and he was about to win.
Hmm.
And so it's like it's one of those things where you can let the opponent get ahead, and as long as they've got no board clears or no way to deal with your Halifest, like killing Gedhammer too soon, etc., etc., Halifest can just go absolutely crazy,
I mean,
and
the
you
thing
can
is,
just
though,
win.
if you're behind, they may be able to just steal a win, like
Yeah,
because it doesn't really have any key control in those
true,
cards.
true. But the rush, if they don't have the amber control and they don't have the ball control, the rush is just crazy if you can set it up right. And I've got quite a few reps with this deck now, where I can do that, and it's got a few other things about this deck to kind of try and hold it out beforehand. But it's just like sometimes it's like, okay, this isn't going so well. Hang on a second, let's get the Hallowfest out. I've got my fresh marks in hand. Combo out 11, 12 amber in one turn. Like, if I've got fresh marks in Hallowfest, I can guarantee 12 amber in one turn. And it's just insane. And so I can see why people say it's broken. And I say it's broken with the biggest smile on my face, because finally I've got something fun that's broken.
I played a game on TCO, just a random game on competitive, and it was a Hallowfest mirror. So I had Hallowfest and my opponent had Hallowfest.
Yeah.
So and I got my starting hand. I was second player, and my starting hand was basically the only card in Brobner was Hallowfest.
Yeah.
As the second player, and I was like, I really need to get the Hallowfest first. That's who wins this game. So I kept that hand.
Yes. Yeah.
And on my first turn, I just went Brobnar just to get those guys out on the board before he could do anything, so I could respond. And then the game was over. Then I had won basically. So yeah,
exactly. Yeah, when I played against when Linus when Lenesu, he was looking at the deck he bought from me, which I so regret sending to him now, because it had 3 Brick Nasties in it.
And Hallowfest
double epic poems, and I played a few times after it, and after I sold it to him, and it was one of my Woe Cup decks as well. And I was just playing it thinking, this deck just goes crazy.
Why did you sell it then?
I didn't know the value of it, and he gave me some world's goodies.
Okay.
I got him a Menagerie and a Vault Master deck.
Okay.
Sealed from him. So it was that was quite a big cost for him. So I think that was fair. He's going to get a lot of use out of it because he really wanted to Hallowfest. But when we were playing in our games and testing out these decks, he tried mine, I tried his. It was basically the person who won the game was the first person to get the Hallowfest out.
Yeah.
It was very simple. The first person to get it out, and if you can combo out the turn you can get it out, then bam.
Yeah, that's the thing. My Hallowfest deck has two fresh marks and one.
Oh wow!
One shock herder. So it's it's extremely consistent in doing the thing, and it also has Brobnar tokens, not so much.
Oh, Brobnar tokens. That's the one thing that my Hallowfest is missing.
Yeah, not so much token generation in Brobnar, but I have double brick. So if I have some Brobnar tokens out, I can make like 20 amber in the turn.
Yeah. My Hallowfest, I have Squire as my
Okay, but that's not so bad, I guess.
Which is actually really useful
because he can protect your brick. He can protect
got a lot of protection. Yeah, as long as you get them out in the right way.
Yeah,
you can protect the right parts of it.
And protecting what's his name, the drummer. That's so important.
Get Hammer. Yeah.
No, that's not the drummer. Get Hammer is the guy who readies them. I'm talking about the guy who sends them back to hand.
Yes, him.
Harmal Altoon.
Yes, that's the one you need to protect. I protect all of them when I can.
That makes sense because you don't want Hammer to be killed on your opponent's turn, because then you guys are enraged and you didn't even get ready for it. So
yeah. Exactly. I mean that's where you need to go. Yeah. But the thing that I love about the Hallowfest as well is that you can just, if you have the pieces, you can start to get them out on the board early. And I kept on thinking, well, if they die, what am I going to do? And I realized, wait a second. Obviously, it's
you just get them back.
You can pull them from your discard. It took me a few too many reps to kind of realize, hang on a second, I don't need to chain myself down to still get the full value out of it. everything. But it's just like, I don't know. I feel like it's a debate for another day. But
You mean whether?
whether Halifest is broken or not,
Yeah,
but it's just nice to be on the winning side.
yeah. This is the only time I have something broken like that. So,
Yeah, it's just, it's the Genka story all over again. I absolutely hated Genka until I got my own. That's just the way it goes, I guess.
I don't hate Genka, but I don't have my own. So
Yeah, you can have as many as you like now with the new restrictions release in
yeah,
NKFL from next season.
but they're not
There
that
are no
common.
restrictions apart from Voltmaster decks.
Yeah.
You can have as many Heart of the Forest or Genkas as you like.
Yeah, yeah. I only have the only thing I had that was considered for a restriction is the is a Hellafest. I don't have any Genka. I don't have any heart. So
No. Yeah, I think it's a good thing because I think people. Yes, there's negative play experiences, but Genka isn't perfect.
no, I think of a
Heart of the
lineup
Forest
with
is annoying, but you can beat it.
6 Genka would do quite poorly. Like my experience
Yeah.
is people who play Genka, they never ward that deck. It's like it's not their favorite.
No,
Almost for no one. And so I can afford to ban something else first and then ban it.
Yeah.
Or I can afford, often I look at the Genka and I say, I can just beat this, and I just leave
Yeah.
it and I don't even ban it. And then my opponent doesn't even choose it to play. So that's a very common experience for me. So
I agree.
I feel
Yeah.
like they are kind of more like intimidation decks than actually good decks, with some rare exceptions.
Yeah. I mean that was kind of what was going through my mind choosing my lineup for this season, because I dropped my Genka deck to make space for my Halifest. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, which one of these decks can make space for this Halifest deck? And it was actually quite a simple choice.
Yeah, I think
That one
Hellfest
could,
is better than Genka because it's just one card you need for one
yeah,
thing, and it's like you don't need anything to set it up. Like you need to get Amber into your pool with Genka, but with Hellfest you you just need that one card. Preferably you also have the card to kill Get
yeah,
Hammer, but other than that, yeah,
yeah. No, I agree that, and it's more fun as well. Like you get more. I feel like you get more out of it, and you have to be creative as well to get more out of Halifest, if that makes any sense. Because in WoW,
I'm not sure I agree. I kind of feel like they just feel like dumb luck to some extent.
I
Like,
know, because at least the parts of Halifest, if you don't get it all out,
yeah,
you still get some value
yeah, that's true.
from some of the cards. Like, and it's very likely that, well, there's chances with tokenization that you won't. Some games you can't get everything out because it will be tokenized.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
yeah,
But I think that's something a lot of people dislike, that they feel like it's
yeah.
because it's so inconsistent. It really feels like, yeah, my opponent got lucky when they had Hellfest so early. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is yeah. But a good debate for the future.
hmm.
I mean, we have been talking about some other future topics as well that are coming up, and some of the things that have came to mind. Jonas kind of put up in our chat today that like comparative woe analysis. Now that we've seen a lot of decks and we're seeing how they perform, um, that's something that's on our radar. And actually, variance or not blaming luck when you lose, like, because whenever I lose, it's just bad luck.
Of
So
course. You're
I'm
just the
not sure.
most unlucky guy in this league.
I really am, and it's all because of the decks. Like, I'm the best player there is. It's just I didn't. Yeah, and actually, I've got something to back myself up on that because I put my best decks into this solo tournament, and I feel really bad. I'm going to try and get some games in there. 'Cause I haven't actually been able to play any solo games, but I put my decks in with the full expectation that I would have some time. So far, none of my decks, my top, I think 7 decks, none of them have made it through to the second round yet. And I think that, reflects where I am in the league, because I just don't have that caliber of deck that I'm playing with. So that's been quite interesting. But the solo tournament is going. And talking of stuff going on in KeyForge, in the NKFL, like I've been talking about the fact that I've been playing no KeyForge. There has been a lot of KeyForge being played in the NKFL server. We have had. Let's have a look at the server. We have the joint solo tournament going on, where we have so many decks, so many games that have been played.
Should we
So many
explain what
games.
the joint solo tournament is?
We probably should, unless people want to guess.
Yeah. So you sign up with how many did you say, 7 or?
So it was seven of your best decks. I think it was 7. Yeah.
And then they're all assigned into different groups with everyone else's deck.
Yeah.
And then basically you can play any matchup you want, but you play both sides. So you play, and you're not allowed to play with your own decks, I think. But
No, you
you're
don't play
allowed,
with your own decks.
but otherwise, any other matchup you want.
Yeah.
You play. Basically, everyone plays solo games, and then basically you get a lot of different people to try out your deck or your decks against everyone else's best 7 decks, and then you can kind of get some. I guess the idea is to get both some kind of idea of how strong are your decks, divorced from the strength of the player to some extent, and also I think to just it's a really big controlled experiment to see, maybe get some data about which set is doing better or and so on. Like I think, because I think that's the most striking result, that WoW is doing quite a bit better
Yeah.
than the other sets, because did you have to you didn't have to choose decks from every set, right? It was just
No. You
no.
just your 6
Yeah,
best,
yeah,
7 best.
yeah. But WoW has this win rate quite above 50%, 60 something, I guess.
Yeah, 59.94%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is by a rather significant margin the highest one. So
Yep.
yeah, you can clearly see WoW is doing better than everything else, and you can see that Dark Tiding is doing worse than everything else.
Yes. Exactly. Which is I don't agree with that result. It's a fix.
You don't agree with
I
the
don't
data.
agree with 20 people actually
I
playing to
reject
give
your
proper
reality and
data.
substitute my own.
Yeah, call me Trump.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting. I wish I'd have played a lot more games than I have done, but as I explained, that hasn't been possible. But I'm going to try and get some games in. Sizox here is talking about the fact he can do 10 to 15 solo games in an hour.
Yeah, I've never really been a
I
fan of
don't
playing
understand
solo.
how that's even possible. Like, the game must be over in 5 to 7 minutes and it's done.
I can maybe see it. Like,
Yeah.
I can play some of my decks. I can play against opponents in roughly that amount of time.
Yeah.
So if you play, if you never have to wait, if you have a very consistent speed, and you're not
Yep.
dependent on the speed of your opponent,
That is true.
and you're playing on TCO, that's important, I guess.
Yeah.
That speeds things up really a lot. Then
Yep.
I think I can see it.
Yep. So that's been going on. Alliance Season 2 is going to be kicking off soon.
Oh, you signed up for that?
I have actually signed up for that because I really enjoyed the Alliance Season 1. I thought that was a lot of fun, and my kind of house analysis got to a new level, new way to look at decks. So
So should we
I
talk
did do
about how
that.
that works?
The Alliance Season 2, yes. I'm pretty sure that with the Alliance Season 2, you pick, is it 6 pods? No.
That's what I don't know. But you're the one who's in it, so I thought you would know. But I'm guessing it's 6 house pods, and
Yeah, I'm
then
pretty sure you,
not six decks, but 6 house pods, and then you
yeah,
do
you
you do
choose
the
6 house pods, and
from the
then
same
you,
set, I
from
guess.
the same set, and then when you ban houses, and so then you have to um, play um, play a game, best of 3, is it? Yeah, is it best of 3?
I don't know. I think so, but
With your,
yeah,
but you can change your houses
between the 4 you have available.
between the 4 that you have, so you can mix and match. If it's not working out for you, you can mix. So that was a lot of fun, actually, because you kind of really start to kind of analyze, the anatomy of your deck. Like, why is this deck good? And going, okay, well, this pod is really good because it can play with other houses, it can play with other pods, or this pod is only good in this deck because of the 2 houses that it comes with.
Hmm.
And it went really bad for me the first time, but if I only play KeyForge because it went well for me, then yeah.
And then the other thing they have going on now is this battle of the tokens, right?
Best of the tokens. What is that?
I think it's a series of double elimination um,
Are they tournaments, aren't
brackets.
they? Yeah.
Yeah. So they're not. So they're played like the cup. They're not all played in one day. They are like
No.
played over
On a
time.
Friday evenings or
No,
something.
not
Yeah.
like that. You just book when you book a time when your opponent is available, basically,
Okay.
and you
Yep.
play.
Yep.
But basically, the plan is, I don't know if it will finish before people lose interest, but at least the plan is that you have a double elimination bracket for each token, so so there is one tournament for Blore, but there's one uh, for the Rebel, there's
Yeah.
one for the researcher, one for the trooper, like so, and then
One for
basically,
the money and a free rat. Sorry.
yeah. uh, and that way, basically you get to see which is the best deck with a specific token, and then I think the end goal is basically the winners of these individual tournaments will then face each other in like uh,
Yeah.
a final bracket.
Big final bracket. Yep. So that's going on. The Woe Name Deck tournament. Has that finished now?
I'm not
We get
sure. I'm guessing it's close to finish, but I think they test.
semi-finals. We're
Yeah,
semi-finals between Philo and Algernon.
yeah. We have the cup still going. I guess
Yeah.
I'm still alive in the.
In the Woe Cup.
We have the World Cup. I was never in it, and we have
Okay.
the
Yeah.
Unchained Cup, where I'm still in the winners
You're still in
bracket.
that one. Wow.
I think I might be at the winner bracket final or
Yeah.
the round before, but yeah. But
Yeah.
my opponent's deck coming up looks scary, so we'll see. But it's quite fun
Yeah.
to get a chance to play your Unchained. I've really enjoyed that. I wish I had the same luck at opening normal decks as I have at opening Unchained decks. But yeah, that's
Yep. I'm hoping I'm going to have this luck when I open up my Menagerie deck and Vaultmaster deck on stream, when I can eventually get around to refreshing my streaming setup. I've had a bit of a few technical issues with pausing and stuttering and stuff in the video when
yeah.
I do live streaming. So yeah, I am making sure that I get that right before I open up these big decks going on there as well. So that's going to be coming out on my personal channel as well. Yeah. So that's kind of the KeyForge that's kind of been going on. There's a 2024 challenge going on as well, where people can track their the games they're playing this year, which Sizox has also done as well. So he kind of just Sizox just comes out with all these fun ways to play KeyForge as well. And this is just in the NKFL server. KFPL is there's talk of the new qualifications coming back there. ABR I'm sure will be coming back, and there's KeyForge happening everywhere online. Which I guess brings us on to like the smaller other segment of the episode. As you can tell, we're so organized now tonight. But one thing that I thought we could talk about was, okay, what do we want for KeyForge in 2024? Apart from world domination, that's kind of we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, I feel like
But
we are kind of going in reverse
yeah,
towards that
exactly.
goal. Like in 2018, 2019. Yeah,
It was big. It was one of the big five, the top five.
there was a chance maybe it could have
Yeah,
reached
yeah. Oh no, I
world
mean,
domination.
2018 they sold more than Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it beat Yu-Gi-Oh in the sales, and then just hasn't done so well since. But like, what do you want, Hydro, from KeyForge this year? Like, how would you see this going out between now and I guess the end of the KeyForge year? We're probably looking at Worlds 2024.
So one thing that has been really good for me last year, which I hope continues, is that we have been able to organize a few live play events in
Mm-hmm.
Stockholm. So I'm really hoping for that to continue. Of course, we had the national championship, but also aside from that, we have once per month, or the goal is every fortnight, but it doesn't really hold up. But still, we have had like sealed tournaments, or maybe some Archon or something like that. Just
Mm-hmm.
something get together. Not a lot of people, maybe 6 people, something like that, but enough to play some games and have fun. Um, so I'm hoping that for that to continue, and I'm really looking forward to the new store championship program that
Yes.
Ghost Galaxy kind of formally announced, I guess, just before Christmas. Um,
Yes, 22nd December, they put a article up called Update on 2024 Store Championships onto keyforging.com.
yeah, and they didn't really say much there, except for the fact that it should be held in March. I think that was the main takeaway from that article. Uh, but it's quite funny. A player in our server, Nikiva, he he googled and found a caged page looking that talks about like what is inside the store championship kit,
Mm.
uh, and like that you're playing for these. They're called battle tested grim reminders decks, whatever that means. So
Battle tested Grim Reminders decks. Okay.
I'm guessing it's some kind of graphical treatment or something like that, but something fun that you can win anyway from the event.
Yeah. And it's winning decks. It's winning, yeah, being made available to the thing. That's exciting.
Yeah,
That is exciting. And after the new year, it says that it's the retail, it's brick and mortar retailers need to sign up using the Playstyle application, and then they'll be able to run events between March, but between March 1st and March 31st.
Yeah.
To run events as well. So if you're in, I need to get a hold of my LGS so that they can do this. But it'd be interesting to see, okay, how much of this is available outside of the United States and how much we can do, because that's very much, there was very much a grey area, it felt,
Okay, I
when they
have a good
announced it.
feeling that we will be able to get this done in our local store, at least
Yeah.
in Alpha Spell. I
Yeah.
think we're already not really we haven't decided anything, but we have just started just checking are people interested, and there seems to be some interest.
That's good.
So yeah,
Yeah. So I guess store championship season is what we'd call that during March,
yeah,
as well. So that is exciting.
yeah.
That there is something coming up, and so the is it Josh who is in charge of the organized play that started working there?
Orbital tangent.
Yeah. So he has
Uh,
been. He's had his ear to the ground. He's had his ear since he started in the summer, and between his other probably other duties of packing Grim Reminder boxes and everything else that they all have to do there, he has looks like the fruits of his labor are starting to show, and so that's really exciting. That we're going to have to do that. I just really hope that more stock can be made available in Europe,
mm.
in elsewhere.
Yeah, because that's really been a problem in some places from what I've heard. I think I've been quite fortunate that Alpha Spel seems to have a really good relationship with Asmodee, and they have been getting uh, they got pre-release packs for Winds of Exchange, and they have had stock available every time we are there to play sale. So that has been quite good for us, but from what I understand, that's really not the case everywhere. Like
no.
some places they got their decks like last week of December or something like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
their game found Winds of Exchange game found.
yeah, and
They got their decks,
also
yeah,
to
and
the
shops.
stores.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly, and I know that there's a lot of shops in countries like in Australia. There's nothing that's taking in Australia, for example, that's
yeah,
taking in the game as well there. And we know some players that some very good players there, of course.
yeah.
So we're hoping that this is steps in the right direction
Yeah, so yes, because
for
I mean
this.
they really had problems with Winds of Exchange it
Yeah,
seems. So I think
yeah,
for the game's survival, it's very important that they
yeah,
are able to sort this out for Grim Reminders. I
yeah.
mean, sure you can get decks through the game founds,
Mm-hmm.
but for the game to thrive and reach new players
Yeah,
and to be able to have sealed tournaments, you need to have product available in most
yeah,
stores. That's just how it is.
yeah.
Uh,
Exactly. Yeah. Um, And like I know Manitorsk at my local game store, they will be taking in the pre-release packs for Grim Reminders, and they will be doing that before they didn't want to they looked into doing the retailer pledge, but it just didn't look viable.
mm,
And even from what I've understood and what I've read elsewhere, even shops in Canada, it's not worthwhile, hasn't
mm,
been worthwhile for them to have the direct relationship with Ghost Galaxy to send the decks out. It's still cheaper for them to go through Asmodee
mm.
and normal distribution routes as well. So they need to be there, and hopefully Asmodee they will order more, that they will make the distribution a little bit better. For example, I bought the last two Winds of Exchange decks from Manitorsk last week.
Mm.
Um, I went in there to buy one, and there were two left, and I was like, okay, well, I can't not take the last one. That feels a little bit weird, and I'm so known as the KeyForge guy in Manitosh that the person behind the counter knew exactly what I was going to buy as soon as I walked in the shop because they knew there were 2 left.
Hmm.
So, just the way it goes. So yeah, it's I really hope that Grim Reminders is more available for that, but yeah, we've just got to see it in shops and see where it goes. The nice thing is that it looks like they're going to be shipping pretty soon
Hmm.
from
For the game found.
for the Game Found
Yeah.
update, that they're actually going to start getting the shipping going, which means we might even have our Grim Reminders pledges by March.
Mm. And to look at the stock situation in stores from an optimistic perspective, maybe what you can say is, I mean, for sure by this point, Ghost Galaxy and Asmodee knows that they have had too little product available of Winds
Yeah,
of Exchange, because a lot of shops are back ordered, and so hopefully that means they assign more stock for the
yeah,
next set.
yeah. That they'll realize that there is a need for them. Maybe they underestimate it.
Yeah.
Going on their own experience from KeyForge.
Hmm.
So yeah, let's hope for that as well. 2024 as well. Some of the other things I hope for is more more opportunities to engage with the game, to help new players, and to help current players get new players also into the game as well. I hope to see a lot more, like even weekly updates, for example, from them. Some lore updates from the game. But other ways to just engage with the whole world of KeyForge there as well, because that's a really strong sign to a live to a living game.
Mm.
Was it the Crucible cast that FFG used to do?
Yes, I think it was
Something
like monthly.
something. Yeah, it's like a monthly thing, but something like that where it's just like ongoing live updates that we can all look forward to. Like, this is the next episode. This is what's going on, and we can have live chat and etc. etc. And yeah, just fun ways to engage with Ghost Galaxy and engage with each other.
They also, I think they had a lot more resources for this kind of stuff at FFG. But something else they used
Yeah,
to do, they used to have these FFG live things,
yeah,
which I think they had like some kind of streaming setup that they did. And I mean, they used it for all of their games, but occasionally they would have KeyForge streams too.
yep.
So they would stream. I remember they streamed, if it was Mass Mutation or Worlds Collide. I think it was Mass Mutation. I remember they were
Yes,
streaming a game with like the main designers at FFG, and of
yes,
course
yeah, I
making a lot
remember
of rules mistakes when they were playing,
that. Yeah,
and
exactly,
uh,
exactly.
and not
Yeah,
even realizing. But yeah,
yeah,
it was relaxed and casual and just fun. Fun way to see some cards. Fun way to uh,
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
interact with the community.
yeah, that's what I mean, because I feel like now they're getting into the second set, that actually they've got a rhythm now. They've 2023, it felt like, was taken up with trying to fulfill the first Game Found and to
Hmm.
get the ball rolling.
Hmm.
And now what took a whole year the first time round has taken 3 months this time round. And so, they can't be doing much else, can they?
Yeah, sure.
Just-
It's not like they have new sets that to release hopefully
no, of course,
twice per
but
year from now.
hopefully that there is some time to kind of invest in the player, the communications of the player base,
Mm.
to kind of keep the interest going, and just say, there's still news coming out, there's still this coming out all the time. that's a very, very important of keeping part of keeping the game alive. And just still bringing the stuff out. So that's one big thing that I hope for with 2024.
Mm.
Just to, just knowing that there's someone else on the other side of the screen. That it's not just video recordings, but there is someone else there. There is there is more stuff coming through. So
And to be fair, they accomplished this to some extent with the KeyForge celebration.
yes,
It's just that it's not really that available for people living
no,
in this
no,
corner of the globe. But
no, which is true. But then there are digital means in order to accomplish that now as well.
mm,
Live streams,
mm. No,
everything that
that's
we've
true.
just
They
been
could have
talking about.
make a lot more with that to
Yeah,
include everyone.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of acknowledging that that there are other people out here, and everything as well. So yeah, I hope to see a lot of that in 2024, just for the that part of the game. And as I say, an OP we've already talked about there as well.
And something else I'm really excited for. I'm excited for the set that will come after Grim Reminders. I forgot the name now.
Ember Skies.
Amber Skies, yes.
Is it Ember
Because
Skies? Yeah.
Amber Skies. Because it will be the set with the Skyborn, and that means
Yes.
very likely we will get the Barons, and like the Red Baron.
Yeah.
So that means we will get the key color mechanic, and I'm really curious to see. It could go if they have done a good job designing that, because I think it's not an easy task to design those mechanics and make it fun. But I think if they manage, it could be super fun. So
True.
I'm really excited to see what they make of that mechanic.
Yep, that's true. That's true. I think they've got to they've got to be very, very careful there not to go the heart of the forest way, if that's true. That denying key forging.
Oh,
Says
like
kind of
a,
key
a
forge.
creature is out and it says you players cannot forge a red key or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that would be fun if, as long as they are very careful about
Possibly.
not having, like, if it's an artifact, that's just of course not possible. But if it's a
No.
creature and
Mm.
you don't have ghost form or something like that in the set, it could work. I
Yeah.
think.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I just wonder if those kind of key denying miasma type, too many of the miasma type guards might be a bit too much, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it would be hard to design a card that's more disruptive than, say, Cease Forge, for example. So the Star Alliance artifact from Dark Tidings that
Yep.
stops keys for 2 turns. So I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and then it's like a countdown to
Yeah.
where who can forge the key next.
So I'm
Yeah.
not too worried they will break something. Well, we'll see. I might have to really regret those words, I guess, half year from now.
I'll put a timestamp
Yeah.
on you just saying this as well. Yeah, yeah. But I think that's our this is our return to the mics to 2024 at least. And I think we have hope. We do have things that we're always talking about that we need to do, but obviously we need to have we need to find our time to record these episodes and everything as well. However, listener, your encouragement always means a lot to us, and sometimes if we're really busy, that little nudge of, and maybe I think it's either Yasavo or Banana Pear Mobile or something that always puts the little nudge in the Discuss the Podcast channel,
Yeah.
wondering where the next episode is, and there's little encouragements to kind of let us know that you're missing us and do you want more episodes.
And you
Even that stuff helps.
you mentioned some
Feedback
potential
always gives us,
topics at the start of the
yeah,
episode. Those are also based on ideas from listeners.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
So, and yeah, So that helps, even though it might take a really long time before we act on some of
Yeah,
these ideas. We have them available, and
yeah,
we do eventually, hopefully, go use them. Or at least for me, I feel like they are often fun ideas that we can do something good with.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. I mean, some of them have a little bit more prep than others, but we want to do more content, and we want to find time to do it as well. So any encouragement goes a long way as well. But I don't know if you've had anything else you want to add, Jonas. It's been to this hour of ramblings.
No, we should probably cut it before we go on another 30-minute tangent.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been about 60% KeyForge this episode and 40%
Sickness,
like children's
life in
sicknesses
Sweden.
in Sweden and life in Sweden as well, which bit of a spin-off podcast. But the Nordic War Central podcast.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, let's press that stop button before people fall asleep, and we will see you next week or in 2 weeks, whenever
Or in a
we
month,
can get a hold of our microphones yet again. You know where to find us. Come and say hi. Give us some encouragement. Until next time, forge on a prosper. See you later.
Stay hydrated. Bye.